Abs- Absolutely fine. And welcome, Tracy, to the event. We cannot see you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, hang on. Let me turn in the video. There we go. Okay. Yes. All right, let me plug in the microphones here. Okay. Okay. Right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely. And very well.
Okay, move this keyboard and there we go. All right.
Gentlemen, may I remind you that this session is being recorded. It will be replayed into the World Business Angel Forum website, in the future, and is also live streamed to the World Business Angel Forum participants through the official website. So it's 7 o'clock. It's the first time that Team Cyprus is participating in the World Business Angel Investors Week 2023. I would like to welcome you all for participating in this week. The chairman, I spoke to him, Mr. Baibars. I spoke to him this morning. Unfortunately, he will not be here to open the week as he was planned to greet us as a team, because he's flying to Adana, Turkey at the same time. But he called me from the airplane half an hour ago to wish me good luck, and good luck to everybody that basically is participating. So the agenda for today is we have 3 teams from Cyprus. We have Uperia in the travel experience startup. We have Historia in the artificial or AR, VR technology space. And then we have InnoCyprus, which is a platform for conflict resolution for through entrepreneurship. And then we will have a small break from 8 to 9 in order to get a little bit of rest, and come back again at 9 to 10, where we're going to have a roundtable with the CEO of Invest in Cyprus and other kind of like guests into that discussion with the topic, if Cyprus is a good tech hub for companies to come, and if it's a good bridge for Middle East and Europe, which I think it is. And I'm pretty sure that we will prove that today with our presentation. So if we don't want to lose any more time, and if Pavlos is okay, Pavlo, can you introduce yourself very quickly to this recording so I can go and play your video?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks for having me here. So that's a brilliant opportunity. My name is Pavlos Vasiliades. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Uperia. My background is in business application development. The travel sector, hospitality sector is by far my favorite sector to invest in. But hence we have the company here, and I hope you really enjoy the presentation. And of course, feel free to reach out, and more than happy to get to know you better. Thank you.
All right. Now we have to kind of like go into screen sharing. Let's see if that's going to work. Okay. Media player.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pavlos Vasiliades. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Uperia. Uperia is all about travel experience. We help travel experience providers to transform their business and unlock the true digital potential. But before moving forward, let us have a look on the main challenges within the sector. Well, for the provider to reach a traveler, things are not as easy as we might think. They need a way to manage their bookings and at the same time, a place to list and sell the products. And the fact that there are 2 steps here increases quite a lot the commission they have to pay in order to reach a traveler. And sometimes this goes above 30%. Well, the result, 83% of transactions between these 2 groups is still flying. Phone calls, emails, or people just dropping by, despite the fact that the technology has been there for over 10 years. In order to resolve this challenge, providers reach out to hotels and travel agencies, asking them to resell their products, obviously in a more favorable commission. This is a great idea which inspired us quite a lot. But it's a heavy manual task because you'll have to go one by one, every single hotel, every single travel agency to form the agreement and agree on the commission. Let's see how Uperia not only solves these challenges, but unlock the true potential of travel providers. The only thing that we'll have to do is simply register on our platform. And they have a toolkit, a digital toolkit, which allows them to manage their business, manage bookings, online sales, and so much more. But the secret ingredient here is by joining the Uperia community, you have the ability to resell directly through hotels, travel agencies, and even travel bloggers, allowing you to reach a maximum number of travelers with the less hassle possible. And it's a win-win situation for all these parties because the hotel, travel agencies, and travel bloggers, the reseller network gets automatically the commission. And of course, the provider gets the money and the booking. So let us have a look on the application. Nice user-friendly application allows providers to manage their bookings, sell their products, join the travel community that I mentioned earlier. Also, marketing and customer management, everything that they need literally in one place. Now, this is the product that we have for the travel professional. Let's have a look what we offer also for the travelers. Through our mobile application, travelers can easily pick the travel experience of their choice, book, and pay for it. Let's have a look at some historic data from the market. Despite the 2 hard years of the pandemic, we managed to surpass the 200 billion mark. The growth pace, really promising. Over 5% annual growth rate for at least the next 4 years. But remember, we mentioned 83% of these transactions are offline, meaning that roughly 166 billion of untapped territory, offline activity. And this is what makes this market even more attractive. Now, looking at our pricing model, we start with 10% commission. This is with our basic plan. And for the organization who will unlock our premium features, it's an additional 49 euro per month. And of course, they can upgrade or downgrade depending on seasonality and the needs of their business. Now, moving to our go-to-market strategy. We focus on professional associations, industry-specific experts, basically anywhere we can get tour and activity providers involved, raise awareness, and explain the importance of digital transformation. We start from Greece, and our aim is to support Greek firms and help them connect with the travel offices around Europe. So far, our sweet spot has been small to medium-sized companies. Now, let us have a look on the market, competition, how it's breaking down, and what makes us different, what sets us apart. As we mentioned earlier, in order for a provider to operate, they need a booking system and a marketplace. And this is exactly how the market is broken down. On one side, we have these software companies focusing predominantly on the travel professional. And on the other side, we have the marketplaces, which we all know. Now, for a provider to operate, they need at least one of each. And this is exactly why the commissions are that high. Now, how we are different? We basically merge the best of these two worlds, creating a community where travel professionals and travelers can freely engage with one another, removing all the unnecessary barriers. Behind all that idea, a diverse, skilled multinational team. Pavlos and I have been building business applications for the past 10 years, but we wouldn't be able to achieve all that without our amazing team. People have been building and running startups and have a deep knowledge and understanding of the travel sector. We have new hires in the team, interesting partnerships coming up, and a healthy pipeline of travel experiences which we can start selling and promoting in Europe. Keeping that momentum, we estimate to reach our break-even point towards the end of 2025. At this point, I'll really take a second to thank our partners who have been supporting us and been investing in us for the past 2 years. Their feedback and support has been valuable. Worth mentioning is that we're self-funded. The product is out in the market and there is a healthy traction. Our goal now and our ask is to raise 850K, which will allow us to grow our team even further, launch the second version of our application, and expand aggressively our clientele. Thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to present. I'm looking forward to answer questions. Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Pavlos Vasiliades. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Uperia. Uperia is all about, and this.
All right. Thank you very much, Pavlo, for the very good presentation. It was pre-recorded in order to avoid any hiccups with the internet connection, but it was an exceptionally good presentation. I have a couple of questions, if I may.
Of course, go for it.
So basically, the concept, if I understand it correct, is that you have package tourism that you can buy from Germany, let's say 1 week in Cyprus, in Ayia Napa. But then once you reach into that destination, the local providers, they have small experiences packages, like, for example, a boat with a meze and a souvla and a trip around the Cavo Greco, or, you know, an archaeological site visit. So you take those experiences and you integrate them together with the package that basically the average tourist will buy, correct?
Yeah, this is partly correct. So the most important thing to stress here is that our top priority, our focus is experiences, regardless if it's a 2-hour experience or if it's a 3 days type of experience. We don't really distinguish in terms of duration, as long as it's experience driven. So you're going to feel something, you're going to remember something, you're going to experience something throughout this whole process. So in terms of Uperia, we focus on travel experience providers, travel offices, basically any type of business that can actually want to digitize their tourism activities. And of course, as you mentioned earlier, once you digitize those tourism activities, nothing stops us from connecting these businesses with hotels, travel agents, other travel agencies to resell it, and even travel bloggers. It's something that happens anyway, so the process is there. We're just digitizing it, and we're adding so much more features on top of it. And basically, as I said, unlocking the true potential of touring activity providers. Thank you. Yeah. So
you know, one of the best gifts that I have ever got, it was like my 40 years, kind of like a birthday travel experience. It was a printed list of going to some destination plus some experiences. So can I, or a potential customer into your platform, can I design a package and an experience for himself in order to make it as a gift to a loved one?
Absolutely. Although these capabilities hasn't been released yet, it's something within our roadmap for the next 6 to 8 months. We call it kind of like a dream trip where you can actually design, and the partners within the community of Uperia, our travel experience partners, will be able to grab your idea, bring it to life, and of course offer it back to you for you to experience it. Yeah.
That's actually amazing if you come and think of it, right? Tracy, do you have some questions as well? What do you think about this model?
Yeah, what can I say? I can't wait to try it out. You know, as I plan my next vacations, maybe I'll look into Uperia and see if I can design or find travel experiences that map onto like cultural heritage and other things I'm interested in. So maybe, not to get ahead of myself, but possibly Historia could be one of the things that we put into your app.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love that, Tracy. Of course, definitely.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah.
So currently, Pavlo, you are operating in Greece. You're offering some experiences to the Greek audience, and you're looking into an investment in order to expand into the region.
Absolutely. So we work with Greece. We have some really interesting key partnerships, which I did touch upon within the presentation. There is so much potential in Greece and in Cyprus. And we are at that stage where the product is out there. People are responding in such a positive manner. We're actually releasing soon the 1.5 version of Uperia, which means that not only we heard the feedback, but we actually grabbed the feedback of our providers and we implemented it in our second version. And we are at that stage that a fund can actually accelerate growth tremendously. With new partnerships, unlocking new markets, and of course, working closely with Cyprus and a few other areas that we're focusing on are within our top priorities.
Yeah, I mean, okay, for an English audience, like for example, it would be easy to, of course, it will take some time to define a travel package with experience for Europe. But if you want to go to Dubai or Bahrain and you want to experience as a local, there are a lot of things that basically you can find only in local language. So if you can manage to solve that particular problem, I think a lot of regions can benefit from your innovation.
And let me elaborate on that, if I might. So basically, we offer our technology to touring activities. We offer our technology to businesses, to local businesses, in order to not only to accelerate their sales, but also for them to partner with other businesses. Which means when we approach a new market, we have these local experts on ground. And of course, they know the language, they know which experience are actually the hot experience of that area and to be sold. So we always approach kind of from a business to business point of view. And they use our technology to go to the B2C part. This is how we operate. It's kind of like a hybrid model, B2B, B2C.
You know, Pavlos, you're lucky because we have together Panis Pieri. He's very good and famous blogger for Greece and Cyprus. Panis, do you have any question or advice to fellow colleague there, Pavlos? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm mute.
Hi,
Yeah.
Panis.
Hi to all. Advice, Pablo, your app is currently working or not yet?
Yeah, the application is being used by businesses. In terms of the B2C part of it will be released. The B2C part of it will be available in the market in few months. But the part where a tour and activity company registers and uploads the product and use our technology is live.
So you already have clients, B2B clients.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are launching now B2C.
Part of the fund to answer the question will be allocated to opening the B2C channel. It's pretty much the application is there. We're using a single page application, which basically someone can scan a QR code at this point of time and actually buy the tour. So there is no blockers there whatsoever. But we're going to be taking that to the next level, releasing the mobile application, and of course, we'll be enhancing our business platform, which is for professionals, which has been used.
But why did you decide to go to B2C and not to stay to B2B and find more tour operators around the world?
Just to clarify, we as Uperia, we do not go B2C directly, but we give our partners the tools to do so. So when you go within the Uperia community, as you've seen in the presentation, you have your business platform, and you have also the capability as a travel professional to sell your services to your end customers. So we provide you a digital toolkit, and you use it as you like. So, yeah, we as Uperia, we do not directly go to B2C, but we give them the tools to go to B2C.
Yeah, and my last question, what kind of amount are you looking for right now? And to do what with that amount?
Again, we did mention that in the last slide. We are looking for 850K, and if you notice there are bullet points kind of explaining, but the gist of it is enhancing the business application, improving the mobile app as well, and aggressively expanding in some markets, and obviously some new hires which we'll need. But obviously, we have a detailed 20-page business plan, which for any investor who would love to go deeper into conversation, we can have a look at that.
Very good. Excellent questions and excellent presentation, Pablo. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thanks.
And I hope that the international audience that they will watch your presentation will be convinced and contact you. So now for the second startup that we have invited here today is Historia, and it will be presented by Tracy. Tracy, if you can introduce yourself, and then I will share the video that you kindly sent with us.
Sure. Actually, the video introduces me a bit, so I'll try not to repeat. But basically, I'm a California transplant. I've been living in Cyprus for almost a decade, fell in love with this island, and was looking for ways to give back. And as a former educator and a historian by training and technologist, I was captivated by just the remarkable array of archaeological sites on this island. I mean, it's truly blessed with an extraordinary array of things to see, and wanted to find a way to bring history alive. And that's what Historia is about.
Very good. I'm going to go now and share my screen and your video with your presentation. I hope everything goes well because my internet is a little bit unstable. Fingers crossed. Let's play this one. Here.
My name is Tracy Spaight. I'm a historian, technologist, and game designer. I'm originally from California, but I've been living and working in Cyprus for almost a decade. During that time, I fell in love with the island's rich cultural heritage. Cyprus is a palimpsest of cultures. It is steeped in mythology and lore. Its history is interwoven with that of legendary figures like Alexander the Great, the Emperor Justinian, and King Richard the Lionhearted. I founded Historia to deepen appreciation and understanding of our shared past and the ties that bind us together. So let us begin. If you visit ancient Greek or Roman heritage sites, you'll see waist-high walls that outline where buildings once stood, columns toppled by earthquakes, or perhaps tile mosaics on the floor of the baths. It's difficult for the visitor to get a sense of what these places looked like in antiquity. In this photo, we see the remains of the once thriving city of Kourion, near modern-day Limassol. In antiquity, the city boasted wide streets paved with stone, great temples, aqueducts to bring water to the public baths, an agora lined with shops, and private homes and villas. Today, all the great buildings and private dwellings lie in ruins. Little remains of these structures today. It's difficult for the visitor to reconcile what he or she sees with the once great city that stood on the Acropolis. Have you ever dreamed of traveling back in time? What if you could stand before the ruins of the public baths at Kourion, and instead of seeing a pile of stones, you saw the baths as they appeared in antiquity, with polished marble floors, a barrel-vaulted ceiling with windows to admit the light, and the warm waters of the caldorium inviting bathers to enter. Thanks to augmented reality and modern archaeological research, Historia can bring history alive for site visitors to deepen their understanding and appreciation of this historic site. With a smartphone or AR glasses, visitors can see holographic images of the reconstructed buildings superimposed onto the ruins while they listen to guided tours by historical experts. At Historia, our goal is to bring history alive through augmented reality, gamification, and interactive storytelling. Our target market is cultural tourists. According to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, about 40% of all tourism across the world focuses on cultural and historical travel. Cultural tourists tend to be affluent and well-educated. Increasingly, they are trending younger, owing to a growing demand from Gen Z and millennials, tech-savvy digital natives who consume information differently than previous generations. In the coming years, Gen Z and millennial tourists will increasingly explore historical sites, cultural landmarks, and tourist attractions with an AR tour guide, where augmented reality creates an immersive and interactive experience that enhances visitors' understanding and appreciation. There is also a huge potential to entertain and educate people via games and interactive activities. According to a report by Verified Market Research, the global market for AR travel and tourism is expected to grow from 8 billion in 2021 to 138 billion by 2030. The Historia app runs on smartphones and AR glasses. For the next few years, most users will experience Historia content on an Android or iOS phone. But we're also looking to the future. Lightweight, mass-market AR glasses are coming soon, with major players like Apple, Google, Meta, Snapchat, and many others investing billions in their development. We're thus architecting the Historia experience to run on these next-generation devices. How does the AR work? To sync real and virtual spaces, smartphones and AR glasses use a technique called visual inertial odometry. This process combines information from the device's motion-sensing hardware with computer vision analysis of the scene visible to the device's camera. Historia uses this data to superimpose virtual buildings over archaeological ruins in such a way that the virtual content appears to be part of the real world. That's augmented reality. When you launch the app, you'll see a map of the Mediterranean world with available audio-visual tours of various archaeological sites. Select the site you wish to visit by touching the screen and a map of the location appears. With Historia, you can select a guided tour with audio and visual content triggered by your location, with arrows pointing the way, or roam the site freely and access information when you wish. We are also planning interactive, location-based games. Historia Quests combines the visualization power of AR with proven gamification mechanics. The Historia team will create guided quests that take the participants around sites like Corion with storytelling triggers such as reaching predefined locations or solving puzzles. Finally, Historia tours are available in multiple languages with descriptions of the sites for the visually impaired. Historia is building partnerships with the local archaeological community and plans to donate part of its earnings to support archaeological excavations and preservation efforts. I'm a historian by training and have worked on archaeological digs in Myanmar, so I'm quite comfortable working with academics. Many of our target sites have already been modeled in 3D by archaeologists. We will license such models when possible. Others we will reconstruct from archaeological data with careful review from historians and site experts. The team has a long and proven track record of building mobile applications. I'm a historian and former educator with 18 years experience in the game industry. I've worked with more than a dozen museums, including the Imperial War Museum, the RAF Museum, the National Museum of the Royal Navy, and the Bovington Tank Museum to create AR and VR applications to bring history alive. CTO Sotiris Makaraginianis brings more than 20 years of experience in software engineering, including 11 years as a senior executive at Nokia, where he oversaw 9 major product launches. Gravity Jack is a leading AR application developer in the world with a proven track record of working on museum and heritage projects. I've worked with them on multiple projects over the years. In short, we have the right experience, the right team, and the right technology to build a successful company. I have designed and created numerous AR experiences with leading museums and technology partners, beginning with the Dornier 17 project in cooperation with the RAF Museum, the HMS Caroline project with the National Museum of the Royal Navy, the Storm Tiger project at Bovington with Microsoft HoloLens, and AR Spectate with the History Channel. My work on AR and VR projects with museums has been featured in leading publications like Rolling Stone, Forbes, Mashable, Wired, and VentureBeat. I'll bring the same media know-how to Historia. There are several players in the heritage tour space. One can plot them on an axis of rented hardware devices versus smartphone and audio versus AR tours. So in the bottom left, service companies like the Orfeo Group create audio tours for museums with hardware guides that visitors rent. In the top left, companies like Get Your Guide offer audio tours for hundreds of locations. And in the bottom right, new companies like AR Tours offer tours of sites like Pompeii and Herculaneum in Italy. The visitor needs to rent the AR glasses. And in the top right, we have the future. Companies like create AR tours of heritage sites for consumer smartphones or AR glasses. Historia aims to be the dominant heritage tour company for Cyprus and then expand throughout the Eastern Mediterranean. Historia will pursue B2B partnerships to drive traffic and conversions. These include partnerships with the Cyprus Tourism Organization, the Cyprus Hotel Association, tour bus operators, cruise ship lines, and various local bodies on both sides of the island. Historia will launch in the summer of 2024 with our pilot sites, including Corian. The app will be available for purchase on the Apple Store and Google Play on a direct sales model. We anticipate revenues of approximately 74,000 euros in our first year. We plan to refine the experience based on user feedback. As we add additional sites and expand to new markets like Greece, we anticipate sales will grow to 700,000 euros by the year 2024. Historia is seeking 500,000 euros in seed capital. We'll use the funds to design the experience, create a CMS system to streamline site creation, build B2B partnerships, and launch the product in 2024. Our next steps are to secure funding for our pilot, design the core experience, and engage our developer to begin production. We will also forge partnerships with local universities, technology incubators like Science Center of Excellence, and the historical and archaeological community. In 2025 through 2028, we plan to expand to new sites in Greece, Turkey, and other markets. Historia will design and build the AR tours for our pilot sites in 2023, with field testing and polishing in the spring of 2024. Our goal is to launch at the beginning of Q3 2024 and showcase our work at major museum conferences and in tech and travel publications. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or would like more information. Thank you.
Very well done, Tracy. Thank you very much for the presentation. I think that you are in the right kind of like a time because, looking into the consumer behavior, most of the young generation, when they visit an archaeological site, they will be holding their phone, taking selfies. So the behavior of holding the phone and walking around taking pictures in the archaeological site, it's very common. Now, if you can replace or superimpose the image of the actual environment into that particular behavior that you walk around and you take selfies, then basically kaboom, you have it. You have utilized a norm, a behavior, a physical behavior that we observe right now, and you have superimposed something that adds value into it, which is, I hope that basically you managed to do it. Yes.
Absolutely. That was one of the first things I was thinking of. I want to stand in front of, say, the Roman Forum and actually see the Roman Forum, as it appeared in antiquity or in the time of the Caesars. If you visit there now, it's pretty hard to tell what's what. There's just various piles of broken stone or the Arch of Constantine and other things that are still standing. but yeah, the Temple of Juno and the rest are just, is very hard to tell what it is. So I thought it'd be very cool if I could selfie myself with, you know, the environment as it would have appeared in antiquity. So that's absolutely the case. There's an educator and technologist named Mark Prensky, and he sort of coined the term digital native. And he said, yes, it's very true that like Gen Z and millennials and the rest are consuming information and exploring historical cultural sites in ways that are different than, say, the boomer generation did. They might go around and read every one of the little placards and the rest. Well, the younger folks are running around between the various things, or they're listening to, you know, they're accessing information through their phones.
Yeah, precisely. And I think that basically is coming slowly because generations are changing, behavior kind of like a changing. So, and I think that basically we haven't seen that second layer of commercialization of the, you know, archaeological sites experience. So we sell a ticket to go into an archaeological site, but we don't sell the associated book or the poster or the game around that, which will help people to learn and understand cultures and history much more better. So
yeah, very much so. It's been, I've been to most of the archaeological sites on the island now. In fact, I've been running a sort of blog about all of the different places and their histories, because I found it absolutely fascinating. And there will be a ticket office, so they'll sell you a ticket to get in, and you're sort of on your own. There might be like a general overview map, but it's still difficult to translate the map experience onto what you're actually looking at. And I found, gosh, there's so much here, and you kind of miss that. And we could add that layer and deepen the experience, or even make it more engaging. Like, the idea with Historia is stories. I mean, it's the same root, history and historia. And stories are the things that create emotional connections and bonds. They help us locate ourselves in the stream of time. Like, how do I connect with what came before? And I think those stories are very powerful for our island. It's a way to show us that, you know, all the different peoples that are living here on these shores, we share this common heritage, and let's celebrate it and explore it.
that's absolutely correct. Panis, Pavlos, Burak, do you have any questions on the story that you heard?
If I may add, no question, but I just love what Tracy is doing, and I'm looking forward, Tracy, to hopefully, you know, finding a formula where we can work together.
Yeah, I'd love that.
It's definitely something that is missing, and it's definitely something that the industry needs.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Very good. Panis? Panis?
No, I don't have any questions. You're an experienced team, as far as I can see. The only thing is, okay, one of the problems of the VR, AR industry is how you create content. I imagine you have the pipeline and the creators to do that, because technology-wise, okay, you can build something. It's not so about content at the end of the day.
Yeah, but I like the project because it brings the two communities together. I mean, it's a good way to bring the archaeological sites from the Turkish Cypriot and the Greek Cypriots, and to be known from, you know, kind of like from the technology point of view, which is an excellent thing for the island. So if there are no other questions, we can go into...
I might just pop in and just say one thing about what Panis said. Absolutely right. The content side is quite important. And part of the, I suppose you could say, moat that we're building around Historia has to do with how exactly we'll acquire some of the content. So some we will probably have to create ourselves, but there's been considerable progress in the digitization of many heritage sites and the creation of many models. And I know some of the archaeologists and folks that are involved in those initiatives. In fact, one of them, I was working with them about 14 years ago when I had a company called Pass Forward, and we were looking at some of, not augmented reality, because this is even before Pokemon Go and the rest of it, but we were looking at other ways to basically model and use historical sites like UNESCO World Heritage Sites for educational purposes. So it's something that I've given a lot of thought, and I can go into more detail in maybe another venue, but it's a very good question.
Very good. Okay, Burak, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
We cannot see you.
Yes.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for joining us. Our next guest for today is Social Tech Lab, the CEO and founder, Burak. If you could introduce yourself before I play the video that basically you have prepared for us.
Sure, like Tracy, I also introduced myself in the video, but shortly, I'm one of the co-founders of Social Tech Lab, which we recently branded. I speak about the story in the video, along with Steven Stavru, and we focus on using entrepreneurship and innovation as peace-building tools in conflict regions.
Excellent. And let's let's see the pitch deck now, kind of like a 1 second, so I can share the media player. Share media player. Media player. Where is the media player? Here's the media player.
Hi, my name is Burak Doluay. I'm one of the co-founders of Social Tech Lab. We use innovation and entrepreneurship as tools in fragile contexts to tackle social challenges. Our purpose is to harness the power of technological innovation to create ecosystems that foster collaborative entrepreneurship and resilience in regions affected by instability. The problem globally is that there's more than 2 billion lives affected by conflict, and there's more than $14 trillion impact of global economics of conflict. 59% of global extant poor will be in countries affected by conflict, and 80% of humanitarian need is driven by conflict globally. The gap that we've seen in peace-building initiatives around the world, and also locally in Cyprus, which we have the most experience, we've seen that there's a lack of innovation adaptation, there's lack of coordination, there's lack of localization, there's lack of sustainability on peace-building initiatives, and there's very few social and economic impact on these initiatives because of their time span of implementation. And most of the times, these initiatives are post-conflict initiatives, and they don't focus on prevention. Throughout the years, which I will share what we have been doing, we came up with this methodologies that we call the social impact generation. What we do is we can come anywhere in the world, any post-conflict region, conflict region, and we can implement our model firstly by doing research. We analyze and understand the current situation and the needs of the community, and we focus solely on entrepreneurship and innovation. We understand and we analyze the needs of entrepreneurs, and we decide and design custom-made capacity programs for entrepreneurs. We do policy check, and we see if we need to do any recommendations. We create digital tools, live programs, and if needed, physical spaces. And by doing so, we've seen that we can create sustainable peace, social impact, and economic development. Why do we focus on entrepreneurship? Every program we do, we make sure that we bring entrepreneurs together from conflicted communities. And not only those, we bring anybody who is living in the same economy together. There's diversity of thought, there's strength in numbers. We've seen that when people come together and they create businesses, the thought of doing business together, it becomes stronger and it sends a stronger message. We've seen that it is proven that entrepreneurs have the most similar characteristic with peace builders. They have the negotiation skills. They're open for opportunities. They need to create dialogue, to create partnership, which is one of the biggest things that you require to create peace. You need dialogue. So you've seen that there's around 80-85% overlap of the characteristics that you need in a peace builder and that you need an entrepreneur. Case study one. We started at Cyprus, we started back in 2016. We are a mixed team ourselves. We are a Turkish Cypriot and a Greek Cypriot co-founders that we were working on similar ideas together. Steven, who is my co-founder, Steven Stauru, he was looking at initiatives in the Turkish Cypriot community, and he found me on Google and emailed me. So we built everything digitally. And actually we serve as an example to collaborative entrepreneurship ourselves. And we started mapping all the entrepreneurs island-wide before we connect them. And what we did is we transformed that into a physical event that we had back in 2016 for the first time, which we had 35 people to begin with. We thought it was crazy to do something like that. We didn't know how it would be perceived by the community, but 35 people was very good for us. And we actually met for the first time one day before our event, because Steven was based in New York before he came to Cyprus for the event. Over the years, based on using the methodology that I showed before, we did a lot of capacity building initiatives, a lot of digital tools. We created a knowledge lab where we provided free entrepreneurship education to people because we realized there's not enough entrepreneurs on the island. And then when it was a bit more advanced, we started doing facilitated mentorship programs, which were going for 6 months, where we matched business experts with entrepreneurs island-wide. We've been doing it over 3-4 years now. We continued making customized networking events or theme-based networking events. And the participation has grown over from 35 people to 250 people, most recently over the years. And we did boot camps, we did trainings, we did youth entrepreneurship program, youth innovation activities, and we realized that we don't fit in the buffer zone anymore. So we transformed Cyprus into the base by Cyprus, which we got a physical space in the buffer zone, which is a military container that was used as the community radio station. And before that, it was used by UNDP peacekeeping forces in Lebanon. That we turned it into a co-working space, a pre-accelerator program for sustainable development goals. We preserved the studio and opened it to community. And it's where we host our own programs or where we host our events, small-sized events for the community. How we sustain all these? Social Tech Lab is the umbrella organization. Cyprus, and the Base by Cyprus, are Cyprus-focused initiatives. One is digital and one is the physical space. And recently we created another company called InnoCyprus, where we provide consulting services. So we do event program and implementation through Cyprus. We do co-working and space management through the Base by Cyprus. We do custom-made accelerators, incubators, and boot camps, both as service. So we design and implement on behalf of partners, or we do it ourselves for our own community. We do strategy consulting and mentorship, both for free at Cyprus, or we do it for more advanced teams through InnoCyprus, and we do product management for startups through InnoCyprus. We started small. We've been bootstrapping 2016 till now with few grants, but now we have a team of 3 and we're growing. So our average annual contract value is estimated to grow into 6 million by 2027. We're getting into ecosystem development. We're looking into expanding into other regions, and we're very confident that we'll be able to do it very, very soon. Our team, we have a diverse group of people that come from health tech, sustainability specialists, and entrepreneurship related initiatives, and we're all social entrepreneurs ourselves. Either we had experience before joining Cyprus, or we had through Cyprus, or we had also other initiatives before me and Steven came together at Cyprus, So what we're asking is, it depends, because we've proven that our model works. We created 2 different initiatives that prove themselves to be self-sustainable. Now what's next for us is we're looking for partnerships to deploy this in other regions, either post-conflict, ongoing conflict, or regions that need economic development. And then we'll be looking into growing our team for helping us in projects, and then continue international expansion and launch new products. This is a more longer term goal for us, but we're looking into collaborating with tech companies in helping us create solutions or accelerate impact by using technology. So if you're one of those, please let us know if you're interested and get in touch. And we'll be happy to help and collaborate and discuss further. Thank you.
Very good. Burak, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Very good. So, you know, my friends, my compatriots, I'm very proud of you, especially because we have to explain the context of your initiative to an international audience. Mm-hmm. So our country is divided. We are not going to go into the details, who is right and who is wrong. And you together with the Greek Cypriot, you build a platform where through entrepreneurship, you're trying to put the two communities to work together. Is that correct?
Yes.
Amazing. So basically, there's like 49 years now that we haven't solved this problem, the two sides that don't talk to each other, but you manage through entrepreneurship to bring the two communities together, correct?
Yes.
Please.
No, as I was also saying in the video, like it was a way to create something more sustainable than other peace building initiatives, because usually people were stumped. If you were going to a peace building event, you had to be interested in a peace building event. If you were going, you were directly marked as a leftist. So people were also hesitant to go, or if it was their first time or they had specific stereotypes, it was hard to attend an event. So keeping it neutral and very needs-based, everybody needs to make business, everybody needs to make money to take care of their house, to take care of their family, their career. So providing systematic solutions to people to create businesses or grow their businesses together has helped us achieve that.
That's amazing. And I saw your numbers beyond the point that you created 500,000 common value for the two communities, and you can grow that. There were like 5,000 people that basically they came together, right? Yeah. So in all the layers, from financial to personal, social, you are impactful. You have a tremendous impact with your activity into the two communities. Well done. So to understand now, I mean, how many conflict areas do we have out there in the world? Like, because this, you can take it and multiply it. That's your dream. That's your ambition, if I understand correct?
Yes. Depends on how you define conflict. There are different conflicts. There's political conflict, economic conflict. It can be even applied in places where there's a lot of unemployment. For example, I know from some friends that in Lebanon, there's a conflict between communities within the same country. That is not particularly between another community, but it's different beliefs, different systems. Interestingly, back in 2018, I was approached by someone when I was at the UN General Assembly to send an offer to replicate this in Ecuador, because they wanted to deploy something similar in places where there's huge youth unemployment rates, where people tend to join gangs instead of creating businesses because it was easier. So applying systematic entrepreneurship support systems in these regions or places could help drive social and economic impact.
Very good. And this is exactly the theme of the World Business Angel Investors Week this year. How to increase through higher education, increase financial inclusion. Of course, here the education is entrepreneurship. So you are offering an entrepreneurship training to the conflict communities to come together, and through that training, increase financial inclusion. I think that a lot of people, they will be very glad to hear this presentation, and I will make sure that basically they will see it.
Thank you.
Tracy, do you have some questions?
Maybe a question / comment. You know, I'm an outsider as a Californian coming here, and have been immersed in learning the history and the stories and the different sides. And I've been really impressed with, like, I know the Home for Cooperation, that's right on the border region there. So I took a drumming class there, and then I took Tai Chi with a whole bunch of, Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots, and like, this younger generation, we're connecting. And as the past is receding, I found that very hopeful, that maybe we'll find a way to put the communities back together. So I'm really excited about your initiative and applaud what you're doing. And my hope is maybe Historia plays some small part in that too. Like, if we learn our common heritage, like, wow, people have been on this island for thousands of years and they got along, and not always, but it might help us learning these stories too. I guess my question was, I'm just curious about the model, like its universality, or do you have to tailor it to the specifics of the different conflict zones? Or you were talking about areas where it might be more about economic deprivation or conflict versus like a political conflict, and like how the model is adapted to those.
I'm glad you asked this, because I think one thing that never changes is the values. So we said from day one that whatever we do, it needs to be inclusive, not politically affiliated. It needs to be as neutral as possible and involve as many players as possible. And one thing we try to avoid doing is to do or replicate something that already exists in the ecosystem, in the entrepreneurship ecosystem. Like when we entered the buffer zone, when we were getting the place in the buffer zone, we said, we will not do anything that Home for Cooperation does. We will only do events on business and entrepreneurship, not to create competition. You cannot compete in social impact. You shouldn't. You should collaborate. You should multiply each other's effort and keep adding on top. So on the custom part, the programs need to be customized, because when you're talking about entrepreneurship programs, you need to assess what the local ecosystem need, what stage of entrepreneurs there are, what are the needs of the community, and do based on that. So the uniqueness comes where you blend the peace building methodologies of inclusivity, these values, creating the ecosystem, and then combining it with programming. So you're constantly creating an environment where people come together, they grow, but you keep evolving it. If you look at our timeline, like we were digital, we became physical, and then now we're expanding outside, because in 2016, Panis knows very well, we were the first ones to do this. And then now there's so many organizations, they're brokers connecting people, and we're happy to see that. That means we did something right, or we inspired someone, or something is working, and we don't need to do it anymore. That's perfectly fine. They can do it, and we can continue bringing the model and the vision in different places where others can do it too. So the impact keeps growing.
Brilliant. Panis, do you have something to add into this discussion?
Basically, okay, I know Burak stories from day one. But in general, to all the startups, good luck further funding your dreams. And yeah, if I personally can help with anything, just ping me. Yeah, that's it.
Gentlemen, this has been the first time that Cyprus is attending the World Business Angel Investors Week. First time ever. And, the Grand Assembly is in November this year in Johannesburg in South Africa. I hope that basically we will continue the discussion over there, especially you, Burak. I think you need to come along and see some people, the ministers that they will be over there. I think it's an exceptionally good case to create a kind of like a platform to reduce the conflict between, neighbors, countries, social economic kind of like levels within the society, and so on. So well done. Tracy as well, very innovative, kind of like a thank you for participating, showing that Cyprus can be one step ahead with high-tech examples as yours. Pavlos, also I would like to thank you for bringing tourist experience into a brand new level, because that part of the experience in the package tourism is totally neglected, I think. So you're in a very good market. So I hope you do very well. Panis, thanks for supporting me all the way from the very beginning. And now we're going to take a break for 1 hour, and then we will reconcile for the round table. You're free to join as participants, but there we will have the CEO of Invest Cyprus, also the CEO of CYRIC, the largest research private organization of Cyprus, Panis and Tracy, to have a friendly discussion about why Cyprus is a good tech hub for destination, especially as a bridge between the Middle East and Europe. So let's take a break. I'm going to stop the recording right now and see you in about 1 hour. All right. Thank you very much from my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
See you soon.